Hi, Tyler Inner Fidelity here. Today we're going to talk about maybe the most important headphone to be made in the last 20 years, which is the Sennheiser HD 600. And really it's a family of headphones starting with the HD 580. This headphone actually has a 600 headband on it, but you can see these plastic gray grills of the Sennheiser 580. This headphone appeared in about 1993. It was shortly followed in 1995 with the Sennheiser HD 580 Jubilee 50th anniversary edition of this headphone, which was essentially an HD 600, but it had carbon fiber looking decorative material on the outside, so it didn't quite look like the 600 now. And the 600 came out in about 68 or 69, I can't quite remember, and then it was followed with the Sennheiser HD 650 in 2003, which was the final iteration of the headphone. All these headphones are very similar. The grills can be replaced on them and they're interchangeable. The ear pads are still available and you can purchase those. They tend to flatten out after a while of using these headphones. These are a very comfortable headphone. They typically run a little bit small, and sometimes you have to stretch them out to get them on. They really hug your head. They really have a very comfortable feel on your head. Plenty of room in the ear cups for your ears, and just quite comfortable headphone for the most part, although they have to kind of stretch out a little bit to be real comfortable on most people's heads. The cables that come with it on the 580 is now discontinued, so you can no longer get it. On the 600, it's a fairly long 3-meter cable. Has this connector on the end, which is actually an adapter, so you've got your 1/8-inch plug, which sticks into the adapter to make a 1/4-inch plug. There are connectors at the earpieces, and they can just be simply pulled out with a tug. You'll notice there's a little letter that goes on. This one is red for right. It has a little R on the outside, and you always put the letter to the outside of the headphone to plug it in. One of these pins is slightly larger than the other, so you can't put it in the wrong way, but you can damage the plastic inside the housing there if you put it in the wrong way. You can purchase aftermarket cables for these headphones as well. Moon Audio and Cardus have them. On the 650, the cable was changed. It's a larger connector now, has a larger body that goes in there, but they are interchangeable, so you can swap them out. There was an issue a long time ago about the springs that contact these connectors. I did another video on these headphones taking them apart, and you can see in that video the springs that I'm talking about. The sound of the HD 600 and 650 are quite similar. When they first came out in the late 90s of last century, most headphones were quite bass shy and fairly bright, and these headphones had a good amount of bass and have a warm sound and are not bright up top. They're very smooth sounding headphones, and a lot of people at the time said that they had a veil, that they weren't quite articulate enough, and I'll have to disagree in the case of the 600s. I think they're a great sounding headphone, although they do miss out in the low bass a little bit. They're still fairly warm sounding, quite neutral sounding, with good presence and a nice clear, clean, high frequency response, although it is a little laid back. But they're very relaxing, very lush and warm to listen to. I really love the sound of these headphones, and even today they remain pretty much state-of-the-art at the $399 price point. They are a fabulous sounding headphone. The HD 650 is quite similar in sound, although it's even a little warmer and a little more rolled off on top. I think the resolution is a little bit better. It's a little bit more resolving and articulate, although it's a little more rolled off and a little thicker in the bass. So this headphone might warrant the moniker of being veiled, but it's remains a really good headphone. To tell you the truth, I think this the HD600 is a better buy at $399. It scales very well. It'll work right out of a receiver's headphone jack and it'll sound good. But if you invest in a more expensive amplifier or front end, it'll certainly be worth it. They're a great sounding headphone and will scale up well. I also highly recommend it. These are 300 ohm headphones, so I highly recommend them with output transformerless tube amplifiers like the Bottlehead Crack or the Woo Audio WA3, on which these sound really luscious and lovely, and you can just listen for hours and hours and hours with these headphones. So the HD600 is going to go up on the Wall of Fame, and the HD650 will certainly get a strong recommendation from me, but I think the 600 is probably the one to put on the Wall of Fame. So world-class headphones, a very important headphone, built last century but remain competitive today. They're just a really great headphone. So I hope you get a chance to hear one soon and enjoy it. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.